is that the only place that still cared in Australia was Newcastle. And Newcastle winning the competition was so serendipitous that is the story, really. People, I mean, I was asked, there's a podcast, I hope you don't mind me mentioning the podcast, but the Rugby League Digest, they specialise in what I'm talking about now.
Yeah, they do. They've basically spoke about it for the entirety of any lockdowns that we've had to endure over the last 2 years.
So their interview was very, interesting, and they asked the same questions as you, and they said, well, the problem with this story is it's so nebulous, and how do you kind of tell it in a digestible way? And I said, it's real simple. You start the book with the steelworks in Newcastle closing down at the loss of 4,500 jobs, and a rock being thrown through the window of the Hunter Mariners office, and then you finish it with Paul Harrigan on the dais with the trophy, and Neil Whittaker ringing Ian Frickberg and saying, let's talk, or Ian Frickberg ringing Neil Whittaker 9 o'clock the next morning and saying, let's start talking. That's the story, and it is actually, if you distill it to that, it is actually a easily understandable, digestible narrative. But the thing it tells us about rugby league we may not like, which is that we reached for the stars and we basically found out we didn't belong there. That's kind of, we belong, in places like Newcastle, and that's probably, and we struggle to get out of those places, and potential partners, if they do get behind us and they do believe in our ability to get out, we usually let them down. So that's that's the thing. It's a nice uplifting story when it finishes on the dais on grand final day in 1997 in the ARL grand final. I stress because there were 2 that year.
Yeah.
But then when you think about what that means, it depends what you want rugby league to be as to whether that's good or bad.
So really, within telling a story of 1 year, you help tell the story of you use it as an analogy for the entirety of the history of rugby league, which is fantastic.
Well, I think it uses itself as an analogy.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation of the story. I'd be happy the story tells itself. I try not to kind of come to conclusions, or for those who disagree with me, they might call it sermonizing or rhetoric. I don't do that when I'm telling the story. And then at the end, I give my opinion, and then I ask, and then there's a chapter called For Better or Worse, and it asks 3 key questions. What was it all about? Who won? And what did we learn from it? And I ask everybody those questions. A lot of the 100 people I interviewed, I asked them those questions. So I let them give their answers, and they're very different questions. As who won is like, there is almost equal parts, news, the ARL. Some people think the game won because of the increased professionalism. Some people think Kerry Packer won because he did some great deals and didn't have to spend much money on paying players. The Optus Vision paid the players. So I let other people give their conclusions, and you might close the book and you have other conclusions about what it means. When I answered the last question, that was just what I gleaned from it.
Well, it does sound really interesting, Steve. I think you've sold it there with some of the stories that are included, and then the wider narrative of the piece. So why don't we tell people more about the ins and outs of where they can pick up a copy of Two Tribes for themselves?
Well, Mark, the good thing is that I'm able to do like discount codes because I have control of it. It's not. There's probably some bad aspects of it not being on a mainstream imprint, mainly in the hip pocket. But one of the good things about it, about me having published it myself using Ingram Spark, is that I can change it, so I can update it, and also the pricing is totally down to me. Basically, it's pretty easy to remember, but maybe you've got show notes where you can put it.
Of course.
It's shop.stevemascord.com/product/2 tribes, shop.stevemascord.com/product/2 tribes. And if you put in, and if you are listening in in Britain, in the Northern Hemisphere, where I guess most people are, then I can also sign it or make it out to your friend or your partner or whatever, your boss, whatever, your bus driver. And when you check out, just type in Super League Pod, where there's a discount code, and that'll knock $1.99 off it. So it goes down to 18 quid from $19.99. So yeah, is that what it is, or is it? You know what I'll do? I'll do it. I shouldn't, but I'll do it 17 because I can't remember which one it was. So I'll err on the side of caution, and for your listeners, I'll make it so it'll be $2.99 off. So it'll be 17 quid, which means I won't make much, but that doesn't matter. And don't worry.
Well, whilst they're on shop.Steve Mascord, though, they can also look for other products, can't they? So they can use that $2.99 they've saved to maybe pick themselves up some T-shirts or other goods.
That's awesome, yeah, and there's more stuff all the time there. A lot of the old Mascord Browns countries and teams are there, and I've added a lot of NRL stuff now. So I've got, I'd say more than half of the NRL teams, jerseys and stuff in there now, and hoping to get them all, and also more World Cup stuff in the coming year. Just got some great Catalans stuff in the training tops, vests for this year. So. There's lots of different stuff there. So yeah, I'll make it just because I forgot whether I did 18 or 17 for other people. I'll definitely do 17 for you. And if you're outside Australia, it's just if you're in Australia, basically the Southern Hemisphere, just leave the shop off the front. It's the same address, and it goes from $37.50 down to $35 as well. So there you go.
Excellent stuff. And your first book, Touchstones, is still available as well to pick up a copy of us.
It is. You can use that that money I've saved you, $2.99. You can use that towards a copy of Touchstones. I should say this, Mark, as well. If you want both of them for a really good deal, I'm actually. I was more promoting this before the book came out, so I'd have something to talk about. But it's still going. I actually do a post every single day. And we'll do until the 25th anniversary of the NRL being formed, which is December 19 this year. So every single day I do a new post. I'll interview someone from the period or talk about, something like that. And that's at twotribes.substack.com. If you sign up for that, you get both books. You get the posts every single day, and you don't pay anything for postage. So it's now in Aussie dollars, so don't ask me to but it's very
roughly half it.
It's a lot less than the cost of two books. It's a lot less than the cost of two books, and you get an exclusive post every single day. So I definitely advise people, to do that as well. That's twotribes.substack.com.
Good stuff. Excellent stuff, Steve. Well, I hope that people have found that enjoyable and will find your book even more enjoyable. I'll make sure I'll put some links in the show notes so people can take advantage of those discounts and those offers out there for you, Steve. So thanks very much. Awesome. And let's hope this year, that the podcasting went ahead, I think, really well last year in rugby league. I think the profile and popularity of podcasting in rugby league really took a bit of a leap last year, and I hope that continues this year, and we can all do a few things to engage people even more. Great stuff. Thanks, Steve. Excellent. Thanks, Steve, for the chat. Hopefully that's enticed and encouraged a few of you to get the book. A reminder of where to get your hands on a copy. It's shop.stevemascord.com/product/2 tribes if you're in the UK, or the same just without the shop bit if you're in Australia. Add discount code SuperLeaguePod, all one word, to get the book for £17 in the UK. That's a $2.99 discount, or an equivalent discount if you're in Australia. Or for more Two Tribes content, you can check out instead twotribes.substack.com. It's another way to get the book there. I'll put links in the show notes, so check those out wherever you're listening to this. I'll also put them in a post on the blog on superleaguepod.com, so if you head there, you'll be able to see all those links and details. And whilst I've got you here, just a bit of an update on all things SLP. Firstly, it's predictions time. Visit our Facebook or Twitter pages and you'll see links pinned to the top to the Google form to make your predictions for this season. All the big prizes are there, as well as everyone's favourite, the Say What predictions. We'll be back the first week of February to make our predictions for you and run the rule over yours. So make sure you get those on the form and share it around all your Facebook groups and all that sort of stuff. Make sure that we all we get as many predictions as possible. And actually, for those of you that have missed other SLP news this off-season, we're moving our regular recording slot to Tuesday nights UK time for the weekly show. So get your weekly dose of Super League fan reaction. It'll be ready for you in your ears late Tuesday, early Wednesday UK time each week in our normal slot, and I suppose for your Wednesday lunch down under, or Tuesday evening listening in North America, and whatever time of day if you're outside those three main areas. But please do look out for that. Make sure you tell all your pals to get on SLP for the new season. Share our predictions form in your online groups and forums, that sort of stuff. Let's make 2022 the busiest and most widespread year for fan reactions that we can, building up to what we hope will be an awesome Rugby League World Cup. And whilst I'm mentioning the World Cup, read my plans for the tournament on the superleaguepod.com blog. But for now, thanks for listening. Buy Steve's book, make your predictions, and we'll speak to you soon. Ta-ra!